Last time, we looked at the lumina, the human lightwave resonance of our exterior's coloration. Today, we're going to look at the chassis, the literal skeletal framework of your body, and the bone math that holds your signal. Your body is a masterpiece of wetware technology. Your bones aren't just a rack for your skin. They are a specific geometric arrangement of mineral crystals. Your bones are made of hydroxyapatite crystals, and crystals are piezoelectric. This is a scientific fact. When you put pressure on a crystal, by standing or walking, it generates an electrical charge. This is known in medicine as Wolff's Law. Your bones adapt to the load you place upon them, creating a constant electrical dialogue between your frame and the earth. Your skeleton is a crystalline array, a specific arrangement of parts designed to receive and send energy. Think of a radio antenna. The physical length, spacing, and angle of the wires determine which frequency it can catch. You are a biological antenna, and the shape of your array determines the nature of your broadcast. Identifying your array, the logic of displacement. To see the blueprint, you have to look at the back. Ignore the muscle or the rounding of your arms for a moment. Feel the hard points of your shoulder bones. The pillar, the vector of expansion. Think of Stonehenge. Your shoulders act as a lintel, the horizontal beam at the top of a doorway that meets the weight of gravity and grounds it. You feel blocked by clothes that are too narrow in the back because your body wants to breathe outwards. When you hug yourself, your upper back feels like a broad, flat shield that resists folding. You create a sovereign perimeter. Your skeleton is a broadcaster. The helix, the vector of continuity. Think of a cello. Your shoulders are a transition point, leading the eye downward toward the waist in a winding path. You don't take up space across. You don't hit the sides of a garment. You hit the circumference of it. Your body wants to breathe inward toward the center spiral. When you hug yourself, your shoulder blades move easily, mimicking the shape of your ribs. Your back feels like a supple cylinder that wants to wrap around itself. You occupy space through rotation. Your skeleton is a conductor. If you find it difficult to be able to identify your blueprint by seeing these shapes clearly, you aren't alone. In the description below, I've included a guide on how to use AI as a neutral eye, a digital mirror to help you see the raw geometric math of your chassis. But as we look at those shapes together, and you try to find your own, you might feel a flicker of recognition or a surge of resistance. This is where our epigenetic memories come in. They cloud our ability to see our own bodies with clarity. We've been trained to see our frame through the lens of survival and the roles the old world demanded we play. To see the blueprint clearly, we first have to understand the stories that were written over it. The pillar, the magnetic sanctuary. For centuries, the old world created clothes as if all men had a T-shaped architecture, and it conscripted the pillar into the role of the enforcer. Men were told they must be impenetrable and tough, while women were told they must collapse or hide their frame to be considered alluring. But this created a frequency tilt that cost us everything. Women were denied the right to be the grounded authority they were born to be, and men were denied the right to be soft within their own strength. True power isn't a mask of force. When a pillar, man or woman, reclaims their design, they stop being a guard and start being a sanctuary. There's a breathtaking beauty in this architecture. It is the magnetism of gravitational integrity. You draw people in because you are a fixed point of safety. Like the great cathedrals, your beauty is found in your absolute presence. You are the North Star. The helix, the vortex. Conversely, the old world demanded the helix architecture to be filled by women, asking them to be living ornamentation over essence. Women were told their magnetism was purely an outward service, there for processing the emotions of others. Meanwhile, Men were shamed for the same grace, told their natural empathy and magnetic resonance were weaknesses. Again, the frequency was throttled for all. Men were denied the right to be connectors they were born to be, and women were denied the right to use their magnetism for their own internal sovereignty. Radial momentum is not fragility. When a helix, man or woman, reclaims their design, they stop being a filter and start being a vortex. Like a vortex in nature, you have an outer layer of rotation and an inner layer of counter-rotation. This allows you to maintain connection with the world without and the self within, driving the evolution of the room through resonance. The universal breath, the polarities of flow. This is where we find the key the old world tried to hide. Humans can flow like a school of fish or a flock of birds without one subset of the group leading the way. We are free to relax and hold space for the beauty of nature within us all. To understand how this works, let's look at how your array breathes. The pillar breathes outward. You are the exhale, the force that expands to provide the sanctuary where others feel safe. The helix breathes inward. You are the inhale, the force that draws energy in to create momentum and spin static into coherence. Breathing in and breathing out is how the universe vibrates into being. Moving between polarities is how energy is maintained in everything from vibrating atoms to lungs. If we allow humans to stand in their true essence, the pillar as the steady exhale, the helix as the magnetic inhale, we as a collective regain our momentum. We finally realize we already own the keys to a world without hierarchy. We already are the flow. When you look at your frame through this lens, you are identifying your operating system. When you align the fabric with the frame, the friction vanishes. You stop the signal interference when your clothes are no longer fighting your bones and your colors are no longer fighting your light, which means the observer feels a coherence in your presence on instant, relieving the subconscious friction between who you are and who they see. You are clearing the channel. The technical logic. For the pillar, don't fear the waste. You don't have to ignore its presence, but we no longer need to make it a squeeze point. It's a hinge. Acknowledging it is about skimming it. Think of a waterfall hitting a rock. The water doesn't stop, it flows over the shape and continues its downward path. Look for vertical memory, fabrics that hold the clean line of your form. If the fabric is skimming your lines, you look like the grounded presence you are. For the helix, your waist is the axis, the valley of your waveform. Reclaiming this isn't about being on display, it's about resonance. You can wear fitted or oversized garments, but we're looking for kinetic memory, the suppleness to ripple and move with your momentum. If the fabric is moving with you, you look like the force that you are. By honoring the math of your chassis, you are finally making it effortless for the world to perceive your true frequency. You are stepping into the sanctuary of your own design. In our next episode, we are going to layer the atmosphere onto the architecture. We're going to blend color and geometry to finalize your signal and activate the Alchemy Compass. The channel is clearing. I'll see you in the light.